Hey everybody, it's Tuesday, May 16th, 2023. Got a fun project today, something I haven't done yet, but I got to replace one of the hydraulic hoses on the backhoe. This hose is kind of in a vulnerable spot in my opinion. Normally when you're just simply digging a hole, it shouldn't be much of a problem. But when you're trying to dig up a tree stump, so I'll show you what that guy looks like. When you're trying to dig up a tree stump, every now and then one of those roots in the tree stump end up catching that hose. And we've abused that hose quite a bit. There's a tree stump I'm trying to dig out. It's probably about 6 feet in the ground, but when you're trying to dig around there, every now and then that hose catches these other little branches, and well, it finally met its match. So what I've got to do is I have to remove that hose, take it into Agri Supply or Ag Pro, and they will make me a new hose. But since this one's already damaged there, this one's got a little damage to it. Again, I think that's a vulnerable spot. I would have thought they would have put these on the back side, but this piston actually pivots. So depending on where it pivots, it didn't have enough clearance. So I'm sure there's a guy smarter than I am that engineered this. But anyways, it's kind of a vulnerable spot. I've had the tractor almost a year now. So, I mean, we've gotten our use out of it. But other than that, the thing that frustrates me that I just figured out is I was trying to figure out where the hoses are. The hoses that I got to remove go up inside this arm and then down through here. But the guy that I would really like to smack right now is there are these little guys that hold the hoses in place. Now I've already removed one down here and I've loosened this one up. But some genius got the idea to put one on the inside back in there. So we'll see how fun that is well, removing it won't be hard, but replacing it, I'm sure there's going to be some profanity involved. Stay tuned. So here we are 30 seconds later. I've tried to loosen this up. Again, I'm assuming there's a bracket like that on the other side. But I'm sitting here with the socket wrench, loosening that nut, or what I think I'm loosening it. And then I feel back in here, and that same genius got the idea to put a nut on the back side of that bolt. Now, there is no access point to get to the back side of that. And this is pretty much a solid tube. I mean, it's hollow, but the only way to get to that nut is going to be to go in through here. So let's see how this turns out, but the cussing may start earlier than expected. All right, so it really wasn't that bad. I was able to get an open-ended wrench down there, loosen that up, and slide that guy out of the way. So now this is loose. Now to fish this thing through, I'm doing this for your benefit and mine, but the hose goes up, bends down, goes through the tube, comes down here, out the back here, and then inside this little horseshoe D-ring kind of thing, and then attaches to that one right there. So what I've got to do is remove that, but also remember which one goes where. Challenge for the day. After a trip to Ag Pro and $200 later, I got my replacement hydraulic hoses and stuff to do an oil change. Taking this apart wasn't that bad. No cussing involved yet. But the hoses here, I had to actually take this one off to even be able to get that one off. But now all I got to do is thread them back through and attach them. Easier said than done. Okay, you would think that maybe fishing these up through there would have been the hardest part, but it was the easiest part. Basically go through here and then down through, I think this is the boom arm, down through here. There's actually a drawing somewhere that tells you, yeah, it's the boom arm. But anyways, the hard part was getting off these little protective sleeves. So they had a metal crimp on there that I had to basically take an angle grinder and cut that thing off because I couldn't get it with a pair of pliers. And then what I did is I used zip ties because they're easier to cut off in the future. Right there to hold those hose covers on there. So getting those off and putting the new hose cover, or not new hose covers, the old hose covers on the new hoses was the hardest part of this. So I've already got that one attached. Again, had to remove that one to reattach that one. Then about to attach that. And then we'll get them attached up here. And then we'll see if it works. Got it all put back together, got ready to use it. A bolt of lightning hit, I don't know, back over there somewhere. And there it sits. Good news is we're getting plenty of rain. We drove up and checked out our new storm ditch. And it's a tree we gotta plant. It's a Falling Waters bald cypress. But anyways, up at the storm ditch, checked it out. Water's running the way it should. And just as things would work out, Tractor Supply has also called and said that my culvert's in. So once the rain stops, I'm gonna go hook up the trailer, go get my culvert. So it worked out. The backhoe's ready. Gotta finish digging that tree stump out. And then when it's done raining, put in that culvert out here at Deer Run Farm.